Good morning. This is Father Stephen Kelly from St. John's Church in Detroit. We're continuing our series of daily morning meditations where we generally look at one or another of the lessons that are assigned for morning or evening prayer, what is known as a daily office lectionary. Today is Saturday. Let's take a look at the first lesson that's assigned for morning prayer, and that is from the book Exodus, of course, Old Testament, second book of the Bible. And we know that at this point in the story of the people of Israel, Moses has led them out of the bondage in Egypt, and they are making their way through the desert. It eventually will be 40 years of their wandering before they reach the promised land. And just previously, we heard about God providing the manna, if we're reading morning and evening prayer regularly on our own, and I hope we are, right? The lessons we read recently were about the bread from heaven, the manna. And now, of course, we have an interesting story coming up about the fact that they are parched with thirst. Exodus 17, beginning at verse 1. And all the congregation of the children of Israel journeyed from the wilderness of Sin, and after their journeys, according to the commandment of the Lord, and pitched in Rephidim, and there was no water for the people to drink. Wherefore the people did chide with Moses, and said, Give us water that we may drink. And Moses said unto them, Why chide ye with me? Wherefore do you tempt the Lord? And the people thirsted there for water. And the people murmured against Moses and said, Wherefore is this that thou hast brought us out of Egypt, to kill us and our children and our cattle with thirst? And Moses cried unto the Lord, saying, What shall I do with this people? They be almost ready to stone me. And the Lord said unto Moses, Go on before the people, and take with thee of the elders of Israel, and thy rod wherewith thou smotest the river, take in thine hand, and go. Behold, I will stand before thee thereupon the rock in Horeb, and thou shalt smite the rock, and there shall come water out of it, and the people may drink. And Moses did so in the sight of the elders of Israel. And he called the name of the place Massah and Meribah, because of the chiding of the children of Israel, and because they tempted the Lord, saying, Is the Lord among us or not? Okay, so, it is remarkable to hear this story of the people of Israel. They are freed from bondage in slavery in Egypt. God does these miraculous things, kills all the firstborn of the Egyptians and spares the firstborn of the people of Israel, and brings them through the Red Sea, right? Parts of the water, they come through, and then when the Egyptians try to chase them, boom, the Red Sea closes on them and drowns them. And yet at every turn, they start belly aching. Well, it would have been better if we'd have stayed in Egypt as slaves, because at least we would have had enough food to eat, right? So God provides the manna. Now here they are belly aching about not having water. Shouldn't they have learned by now that God is going to provide for them rather than their being faithless? Well, there's going to be several other episodes, and it's going to be people, which is why, by the way, it took 40 years for them to get through. God had to test them and try them, and a whole generation had to pass away for people to learn to depend upon God in order for them to come to what is ultimately the promise. And boy, wait till you get into the book of Judges. It doesn't get much better for them, unfortunately. Once they are actually in the promised land, they begin to have all sorts of problems and disobedience and false worship and all of that. But God remains faithful. That's the remarkable thing about all of this. For us, as unfaithful as people of the original covenant are in fits and spurts, God is always faithful. He is always a faithful God to the people of Israel. So today is Saturday. We don't have public worship today, but we're getting ready for worship tomorrow. Tomorrow is the second Sunday after Easter, because we use the traditional lectionary, which means that this is also the Good Shepherd Sunday, right? But we talk about Jesus Christ as the Good Shepherd. So 7:30 morning prayer, 8 o'clock Holy Communion tomorrow, 10 o'clock Holy Communion, and then a 5:30 evening prayer with the opportunity to receive communion. So pick a service or two and plan on joining us for worship. And God willing, we'll see you tomorrow in church. May your Saturday be a day that's full of blessings.